Hello friends, when we use this term privilege in information security or when we discuss the key fundamental principle of information security and we use this term privilege to explain the degree of access a subject has, we essentially means two things. One is permission and another is right. So these two terms basically define a term which is called privilege. So what is privilege? A privilege is always associated with a subject or a user, and it signifies the level of access and the level of rights that person has or that user has, right, or subject has. Subject is the more general term. Now, as I said, privilege has got two related concepts, which is permission and rights. We have to understand what is permission and what is right and how both of them defines a privilege. So when we call permission, when we say permission, we always refer to certain set of data or certain class of data. So the term privilege has got a component which is permission, and it says how much permission a subject is having for certain class of data, right? And the second component is how much right he or she has, or the subject has, to execute certain system tasks, right? So the term right will ring a bell, which is authorization, right? So rights is always related with the degree of authorization, and permission is basically an extension of need to know fundamental principle. So a subject is having, depending on its role in the system, certain need to know criteria. Based on the need to know criteria, the subject is granted permission to certain set of data, right? So this permission component plus the subject may have certain rights, rights granted to it to execute certain system tasks. It may be granted only read operation for certain data, or it may be granted certain read operation plus certain write operation to certain data. So that right, RIGHTS, rights, right? So that right is the second component of privilege. So whenever we talk privilege, we should be mindful that we are talking about certain permissions given to the subject for certain class of data, and also certain rights granted to the subject to execute certain system tasks. Rights come from the authorization level granted, and permission is always given discretionary or mandatory. There are different models for that. We will look into upcoming videos. I hope this video was useful, and just to explain it in summary, privilege equals to permissions plus right. Permission is in the context of certain classification of data. Rights is all the actions you are authorized to do in the system. I hope this video was useful, and if you really like this video, put a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for similar content, and let's meet you in next video. Best of luck for your CISSP exams.